We witnessed Night 2 of the WWE Draft a few weeks ago on Raw, featuring a plethora of moves. Out of the 24 picks made, 14 switch bands. Some of the biggest names to stay on their brand, including Lashley, Banks and the Usos. However, there were still a lot of major stars moving around and some coming out from NXT. So here we're going to be focusing on those who made the switch from Raw to SmackDown, or SmackDown to Raw, or even coming from NXT, or even just coming from nowhere in the case of Gabriel Stevenson. So let's get in straight into it. Number 14, Viking Raiders to SmackDown, potentially the least remarkable move. The Viking Raiders do benefit from switching brands. The former tag champs hit their ceilings on the Red brand and were desperate of a change of brand. However, even on Friday nights, they may not reclaim their tag team titles. Several other tag teams on the Blue brand have moved above them, you could say, with the New Day and Hit Row also coming in. And yeah, it's hard to see anyone taking those titles off the Usos anytime soon. Starting off, moving on to number 13, Carmella. After 5 years on SmackDown, Carmella has finally moved brands. However, beyond that, feud with Liv Morgan, she simply languished in the undercard. And I think she'll be solid mid-card on Raw, but it's hard to see her making too much of a difference to kind of the Raw Women's title scene with the likes of Becky Lynch on that brand, really, to be honest. But moving on then to number 12, Joya Lee to SmackDown. Picked surprisingly high in the draft, Joya Lee comes to SmackDown with a ton of potential. The first Chinese-born main roster superstar is solid in the ring, especially dangerous. However, Lee's chances is she could, like many other NXT acts, get lost in the shuffle. However, with WWE seemingly wanting to push hard in the China market, you never know, she could be a success, and I really hope so. But moving on then to number 11, and that is Shayna Baszler to SmackDown. The Queen of Space finally went the Vicious Destroyer recently. Baszler is our third most important heel on our show, behind Charlotte and Sasha. Unless one of them turns babyface, we may see Shayna get lost in the shuffle, really, and kind of, I do have this nagging feeling that maybe she would have got a better chance of showing off how talented she is if she stayed on Raw, but let's hope not. Moving on then to number 10, Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo to SmackDown. Facing a somewhat similar problem, you really could argue Garza and Carrillo might not live up to their potential. The Usos are very much on top of that division, and we've also listed some of the people who really are looking good on the SmackDown Tag Team division. With Garza and Carrillo remaining heels, they may get lost in the shuffle behind the Usos. Moving on to number 9, Ridge Holland. Ridge Holland could do well on SmackDown. There isn't too much that can be said about prospects, especially with his partnership with Dunn getting cut short. Holland's physicality might help him stand out on the Blue brand, which has witnessed a complete revamp from top to bottom. SmackDown looks really unrecognisable following the draft. But yeah, he does kind of look like a Vince McMahon guy, so you never know, he could do really, really well. Moving on then to number 8, and that's Kevin Owens to Raw. Looking at the roster, one might even say it's too stacked on Raw. As a result, a couple of superstars may get lost in the shuffle, including Kevin Owens. With his contract running up soon, WWE kind of might just not do much with it. But with so much talent, KO may get reduced to picking over other superstars if he does indeed leave the company in January. Moving on then to number 7, and that's the Street Profits. Raw's tag team division is now really interesting, with several tag teams in the mix. Ford and Dawkins will be sticking together, following rumours they may split up, and I can easily see them becoming the new tag team champions. Loads of great matches that could be on there, with matches against RK Bro and several other tag teams that I'd really like to see. So yeah, I've got a feeling that this move could work out for the better. Moving on to number 6, and that's Ricochet to SmackDown. Ricochet can finally enjoy a fresh start as he moves away from Raw. He will want to finally establish himself on the main roster. The former US champ is capable of magic in the ring. If he gets a push, Ricochet can easily mix up with some of the best wrestlers in the world. I know it's probably unlikely to happen, but if we got Ricochet versus Roman Reigns on a pay-per-view, I'm pretty sure that they would just burn the house down, to be honest. Moving on then to number 5, and that's Gabriel Stevenson to Raw. Having officially signed with WWE less than a month ago, Stevenson is now a Raw superstar. This is the toughest to rank because he has no pro wrestling experience. but he does have tremendous potential, being an Olympic gold medalist. With the right training, Stevenson could even have a bigger impact as Kurt Angle or Brock Lesnar. But yeah, obviously we do have to hold out judgment because we really don't know. But moving on then to number 4, and that's Finn Balor to Raw. While we may see similar problems on Raw to Kevin Owens, Finn Balor seems promising. He has multiple options on the red band with several exciting matches there. Balor can take on some familiar faces on NXT like Priest or Cross, or either against Rollins or Edge. The two have chemistry, Styles and Balor that is. And yeah, there are loads of great options, and there's rumours that he could be used similar to how Drew McIntyre be used. That'd be a really solid option for Raw. Moving on to number 3, and that's Becky Lynch to Raw. While she was the number 1 pick on night 2 of the draft, Becky Lynch's move to Raw has a couple of questions. How will the company resolve the title situation? I really hope they don't swap belts. You'll probably already know by the time we've recorded this, we don't. But yeah, it looks like the man will not swap her titles, which is a positive mood. Hopefully I haven't jinxed it. But yeah, Becky 2 belts once again, that could happen. But Becky Lynch on Raw, I think it's a positive move with Charlotte going to SmackDown. But moving on to number 2, and that is Sheamus to SmackDown. Sheamus was excellent on Raw. He had a brilliant match with the likes of McIntyre, Riddle and Priest. The Celtic Warrior is great for him. Got him a high spot in the draft despite being out with an injury. When he returns, I expect him to have a number of hard-hitting matches on SmackDown. The most mouth-watering is an option with Cesaro. With the chemistry they have, they can feud with each other or alternatively even reunite the bar. Will be interesting. Moving on then to number 1, and that is Seth Rollins. He's doing some of the best heel work of his career opposite Edge, and yeah, once that rivalry's finished, there's so many options. With Big E being a babyface WWE champion at the moment, you can easily see him having a great match, and yeah, he could even defeat the New Day member to really put him over. SmackDown's loss is definitely Raw's gain in this scenario. But anyway guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Like, subscribe, write any thoughts, comments down below. Fill out just the description over daily wrestling news. Subscribe to our channel right now, I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.